welcome to a Spoken English Conversation on Neuroscience, Learn English Part 2. I repeat, a Spoken English Conversation on Neuroscience, Learn English Part 2. In this video, there are two basic things that I want you to really put at the back of your mind. The first one is that the video will give you the opportunity to improve your English fluency, because things like phrases, things like maybe simple sentences, punctuations, things like you're going to learn new English vocabulary. You're going to really learn some ways of maybe shortening words. So apart from the fact that this video will help you improve your maybe proficiency in English language, it's going to reveal to you how the brain really works too. So it is a video that I'm going to really advise you to get your pens and papers, because there are so many things that are embedded in this video that will help increase your intelligence. So one of the reasons for this video is not only to review ideas on how to improve our communication skills, but to give people information about what I call educational neuroscience. Educational neuroscience is just the science of the role of the brain in education. So what we are going to be looking at today is what I call the concept neurons. The concept neurons. Okay, briefly, in the brain we have about 86 to 100 billion neurons. And these neurons are not just dedicated to one activity. We have populations and assemblies of neurons that are dedicated to each activity. If you know how to sing, if you know how to dance, if you know how to read, if you know how to maybe do public presentations, etc. So whatever you know how to do, just note this at the back of your mind, that there are some populations of neurons that are dedicated to that activity. The reason why I am really speaking and you can hear me, it is because those neurons that are dedicated to speech production, they are working effectively. Those neurons that are dedicated to the movement of my lips, the motor neurons and others, it is because they are effective. So please come along while I take you on this both English language kind of ride and neuroscience journey. So education, concept neurons. Okay, concept neurons are those neurons that are dedicated to education, that they are dedicated to learning. So anytime you come across concept neurons, just know that these are populations and assemblies of neurons that are connected to the education system. Then, like I said, we have about 86 to 100 billion. Then we have more than 100 types of neurons. In fact, as research in neuroscience keeps growing, neuroscientists and other experts in the field keep discovering new neurons. Not too long ago, time neurons were discovered. These are neurons that take records of time in our brains. Then what is a neuron or a nerve cell? Another word for neuron. Neurons are cells in our nervous system. They are also known as what? As nerve. A neuron is also known as a nerve cell. So do not forget that. Then place cells and grid cells. It was Professor John O'Keefe of University College London that first recorded the action potentials of a particular cell called place cells. Place cells are those cells that fire when an individual gets to a particular kind of environment. So do not forget, there's a connection between concept neurons that are dedicated to education and place cells. So anytime your students, your learners get to school, just remind yourself of this fact, this neuroscientific fact, that their place cells and their concept cells are active at that moment in time. Then grid cells, these are cells that actually take note of wherever we visit. Wherever we go to these grid cells, to make sure that they are just like they work together with the brain cells to form a kind of GPS of the brain. Okay, you know GPS is just used for for navigation, for location. So we also have some cells. In fact, it was the discovery of these place cells that gave scientists, okay, idea of the GPS, the global positioning system. But let's leave that aside. Then school and learning environment, okay, concept neurons. So apart from the fact that in the neuroscience or neurobiology field, we have concept neurons, but I've extended it to make it easier, okay, for my viewers to really understand that CAN means concept and academic neurons. Because when we say concept neurons, it might look so abstract, but when we say concept and academic neurons, people will just easily remember that yes, these are neurons that are dedicated to education and to learning. So CAN, okay, let me see. Yes. So school and learning environment, okay, concept, do not forget, I call them, I've rebranded it. I've somehow molded it so that people can really remember that whenever they see CAN, that these are neurons, okay, that are dedicated to learning, to education, to reading, etc. Yes, so the next one is CAN, okay, neuro educators. Okay, I just want to really share this insight to individuals that my team, my organization is currently training all over Africa. So now, please, fear, anxiety, and threat, okay, all these weaken CAN. As a neuro educator, as an educator, please make sure that you don't make your students feel that you're a lion in the class. If you do so, those teachers who are, I call them brain blind educators, those teachers who don't, or educators who don't understand that education is just brain development. They go to the class with canes. They appear before their students looking like lions, looking like snakes. And unknowing to them, these students just spontaneously we start feeling this anxious. Okay, they feel threatened. And do you know that when fear, anxiety, and threat, okay, become part and parcel of a learning environment, your CAN, they switch off, they become inactive. Then two, always use surprise and creativity whenever you are teaching. Whenever you surprise, okay, your student, maybe when you're teaching and you decide to actually bring in a related story, okay, that moment your CAN, those concept and academic neurons, they become active, and whenever you teach them, okay, those CAN will encode such information. Then the third one is stress. Okay, we have good stress and bad stress. Okay, good stress has to do with those stress. For example, maybe after you talk to the students, we're giving them classwork, giving them assignment. Okay, these are just good stress. But anything more than that will not give the students even little time to play, it has become what? A bad stress. And bad stress kills what? CAN. It is called apoptosis, okay, the death of neurons. So we must try as much as possible not to, okay, encourage bad stress in the learning environment. Then finally, multiple sensory cues, okay, what I call the MSC, okay, multiple sensory cues, that whenever you're teaching as a neuro educator or as a neuro educationist or as an educational neuroscientist, please always remember MSC. Okay, this has to do with, yes, tell the students, use your voice, okay, to explain concepts, academic concepts. Then show them, just like I've done here, or just like I'm about doing here. Okay, this is what? This is a neuron. This is a neuron, the cell that are in the brain. Then secondly, okay, this is what? This is the hippocampus. There are some neurons, okay, that are resident in the hippocampus that are responsible for encoding what can whenever we are in the teaching or in the learning or in the school system. So, and this hippocampus, it is connected to education. It is responsible for the encoding of short-term memory. So now let's come back to this place. So when you tell them, use your speech to explain concept, then show them, just like I've done, then let them share information that you've taught them. Okay, but when you come with two students, I ask them, okay, I want you to quickly, okay, create a scenario of what I've explained to you. When you do so, all this kind of sensory input, they will be stored in different parts of the brain by what? By CAN, by the concept and academic neurons. Then give them high five. At times, okay, high five. If the student actually get it, okay, maybe you ask a very complex question, and surprisingly to you, one of the students actually got it. Go there, high five. By so doing, good touch, okay, is also what? A sensory input. Then finally, reward efforts. Okay, you can say, okay, you, for scoring the highest in the class, take this, I'm giving you this special pen for the effort that you've been putting. I discovered that since I started teaching you this algebra, that most of you have not been up and doing, but I'm beginning to see progress. So today I'm going to make sure that I gift 3 students maybe these expensive pens. If you do so, it is what? It is that you're using multi-sensory cues, and whatever you taught them will be stored in their brains, and during exams and during tests, their hippocampus will be able to do what? To retrieve such information for to bring this stored information to their consciousness. So this is what the neuroscience of academic learning and neuroscience of maybe having great awesome grades in the educational system. Thank you so much for your time, and I shall see you in the next video.